Okay everyone, I'm going to make a little tiny flower shaped bowl using a perfectly normal flat mould, some Chameleon powder and some resin. So the resin I'm using is Apex 1 coat. Now this stuff cures stupidly fast. You can, if your room's warm, you can demold it in a couple of hours. So I'm going to have to keep checking on this because that crucial point where your resin is just at that sort of stage where you can bend it, but it's not sticky anymore, will happen very quickly. So I'll let that just degas. What we're going to do with the bowl itself is we are just going to get some beautiful Chameleon powder on it. And this is the Chameleon powder range from the Tiny Turner. And that's Emma Cook. And this range is available through Toonfish Crafts. Toonfish Crafts are the official stockist. So you'll have seen these all tested, this wonderful range of colours, on my channel recently. And also Claire's Crafty Corner has been demoing them, as well as Toonfish Crafts themselves. Let's just get this brushed on. This one is my favourite. It's called Inferno. The colour range is just crazy lovely. It really is. This one is just like this lovely fiery orange, and I absolutely love it. And of course, being a Chameleon powder, it colour flips through all sorts of colours. Now, you only need a tiny bit. As you can see, I'm using quite a bit here because this is a pretty big area. I don't think many people would be daft enough to use such precious stuff on such big surfaces. But I have treated myself to 3 pots of this colour, so I can go a little bit crazy. But even so, because it's so intense, even for such a big area, which is the same, might seem a little bit reckless, it covers quite quickly. It's not going to use anything like as much as it could do. See how far that's going with just the little bit that I'm putting in? You don't need a lot. So there we go. So we're just going to brush it all over, get that fabulous shine going. I am putting it up the sides, so I'll probably end up edging the sides anyway, because I just like to edge my sides, the edges of things, with my resin edging pens, which I'm sure, again, you will have seen me used in other videos. But I think I want to go up the sides with the powder anyway, just so I've got the option. If I change my mind about that, I don't have to. Now, of course, as you know, Chameleon powders do stick really nicely to most moulds, as long as they're nice sort of sticky moulds. I have come across a couple of moulds that I couldn't get Chameleon powders to stick to. Not sure why. These were cheap moulds. As long as it's shiny, although I've got it to stick to some matte moulds, it's got to have that proper silicone-y cling to it, basically, to get it as intense as this. Although, as nail artists will know, you can get Chameleon powders to even stick to cured nail varnish and to the back of cured resin. So it's always worth experimenting to see what you can get them to work with. There we are. And I think I've got that all over. What I'm going to do is just put a little bit more on my brush and go all over it like this. Just so if there's any bits that I've missed, it should pick them up. So as you can imagine, this little bowl is going to be quite, should we say, shiny? So I'm just going to tip it around, show you how the colour flips work. Look at that, green. Is the camera picking this up? Green. There's even a bluish and a purplish there. Through to the fiery red, through to golden yellow, and then back through to green and blue. Mad, isn't it? Anyway, it just looks brown in the pot. Fantastic. And that one's called Inferno. We're just going to chuck the resin in now. Now, just because I want to be tidy, I'm going to get this little bit off from around the edges here. You absolutely don't need to. I'm just being tidy. And I think it looks nice on camera. I'm not being too fussy. Wonder Wipes fetch this off a treat, by the way. Or you could use tape. Tape's great for getting Chameleon powders off where you don't want them. Right, in with the resin. Now, the way this bowl is going to work is I'm going to have to keep coming and checking on it quite regularly. If I check on it regularly, I'm looking for that crucial point where, as I said earlier, it doesn't fingerprint. It's not sticky, but it's still extremely bendy. Now, with a normal resin, I'd say that'll be about, I don't know, 6 hours time, something like that. This stuff, it might only be half an hour to an hour. I think last time I did it, the room was a bit cooler, and so it did actually take about 3 hours. But as I say, it is intended to be a 2-hour demould in the right conditions. So I will have to be keeping an eye on it because I'm not actually sure what temperature it is in this room at the moment. Now, I don't know how thick I'm going to need to make this. Certainly not the full thickness that this, I think it's meant to be a coaster mould, is. But you do need a reasonable amount of thickness to it just to, obviously make it sturdy. But I think that will do. I'll put you the links for the products that I'm using down below, by the way. And the resin, I've actually got a discount code for you as well. So I'll pop that up all down in the description below. And as soon as this is, I'll keep checking on it about every, I'm going to leave it half an hour, and then I think I'll be down to checking it every sort of 10 or 15 minutes. And as soon as it gets to that right stage where it's bendy enough, I'll show you for actually forming it into the little bowl. So I'll see you shortly. Back with my little bowl thing, and I've just decided I wanted to put a bit of sparkle in the middle. Oops. So what I'm going to use is some glass chips, and we're just going to put a little sprinkle like so. It's only half an hour in. It hasn't really, it's started to firm up, but as you can see, look, but it hasn't really, it isn't getting anywhere near that stage yet that we need. So just going to give it a poke, really. And then I had this idea of putting these glass crystals in. I must show you these glass crystals. I just got them from Amazon, and they're amazing. And they come in this huge colour range, so I have got to show you those at some point. But there we go. I just want it to look a bit like a flower centre, which I don't know if it does. Actually, those have got a bit lost. Maybe I put a little bit of champagne gold. This is just slightly not silver. Does that make sense? Here you go. So let's just have a little bit of that as well. Sprinkle that around a bit. There we are. Giving it a poke. Not getting my hands around it, obviously, because I haven't got gloves on. I just want to make sure this actually goes under the surface. But yeah, clearly half an hour in, this is still quite liquid. We ain't going to be messing about with shaping this for a little while yet. So I will see you in, I'm going to set a timer for another half an hour, I think. Yeah, half an hour. Okay, so I've just had somebody say, you can't do that. And that's about putting your piece into the bowl and shaping it while it's still in the mould. Now I'm finding this is very soft still, although it's not fingerprinting. But what I'm thinking is if I can get it to go in, well, it's this bendy, it might stay flat. Not, oh, look at that. Not do the around the edges like I normally do. Oh no, if that works, that's going to be adorable, and those colour flips should go crazy. Right, this appears to have worked. I wasn't sure it would, to be honest. Putting into a bowl while still in the mould, but anyway, there we go, it did. As you can see, it's slightly translucent because we haven't backed it with black. These colours are so heavily pigmented, they are opaque. But you don't necessarily need to. Look at that. And you know what? I'm leaving those edges clear. I didn't miss any bits. I really thought I would have done, but no. Isn't that lovely? Look at the colour flips going on the back. Now what we could have done is coated it. Yeah, we could coat the back with black if we really wanted to. And that would make this colour even more intense, but I think I rather like that it's translucent. And I can see that colour flipping going on around the edges and underneath, and it's just lovely. There we go. So yes, we can use chameleon powders to make things like little bowls, and we could also leave them translucent if we want. And yes, you can, if you want to, leave them in their original mould when you push them into the bowl. There we go, a little bit different for you. Hope you like it. If you did, everyone, you know what to do. If you'd give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. And don't forget, you can subscribe so you'll know when I'm putting up another video with another funky little idea. And of course, subscribing is free. Did you know that over half of my viewers are not subscribers? It's really odd, I think. Anyway, if you want to subscribe, you know where the buttons are. They're down here too. So there we go. And I look forward to seeing you for the next video. The links for everything I've used in this video will be down below too. See you later.